Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is Shane. Shane, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thanks, Qasim.
Awesome. So, Shane, will you let us know where you live and what you do?
Yeah, so I am based in Denver, Colorado. Moved here recently from Dallas, Texas, and currently working with a company named Relevant I lead the strategic sponsorships and partnerships for that company. And we are doing something unique in B2B marketing and utilizing strategic media to drive revenue.
Well, that's awesome. So, can you get us a little bit about your responsibilities? Because as a founder, I'm 100% sure you will have a lot of responsibilities. So, can you let us know about your core responsibilities?
Yeah, my focus with Relevant is really on the sales side, the go-to-market side. And so we've got a media platform that we've built over the last several years, hosting thousands of podcast episodes that are focused in B2B niches. So like marketing, IT, e-commerce, those type of areas. And in the last year, we've really focused on bringing that service to market, and goal being, how can we modernize B2B marketing so that it's not so stuffy, right? That we make it more human. And how do you do that? Like, it's not through gated content. It's not through more white papers. It's through human to human conversations. And that's where we find that authentic connection and are able to, drive revenue that way. When it comes to go to market, there is no one thing. It's not like you're just sending emails, not like you're just picking up the phone and making calls. You're doing everything that surrounds that. And that is, demand generation. That is helping to build content and assets that you can use to deliver immediate value. That is picking up the phone and making those calls, running those meetings. It is connecting the dots between your customers that you have now and more prospects in the future. And so that's really where my focus is at this time.
Well, that's great. So, just from my understanding, who are your ideal clients?
Ideal clients, it's going to be people that are B2B marketers that are selling to like e-commerce is a great use. I mean, one of the podcasts that we run is called Up Next in Commerce. And that is really about what's happening in the digital transformation of e-commerce and where is it going into the future. It is B2B marketers, e-commerce marketers. Those are our ideal clients. And then what we want to do is we give them the platform so that they can share their story and attract new business.
Makes sense. For reaching all these prospects, how you are strategizing the marketing. I'm sure you will be going to do. You are already doing the online marketing. So are you involving the offline side as well? Because I believe many companies are using mix and match.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Part of the marketing aspects is drinking our own champagne. I mean, what we do is we do have a platform. We have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of listeners. So this is something that we have a channel to get that out there from that perspective. But what we've noticed is that it's not just about podcasts. It's really about strategically creating experiences for your prospects and for your target customers. So that is offline events. That is bringing together your highest value prospects into an experience that allows them to really let their hair down and just have a conversation with people, real talk, not just, hey, we're going to come in here and give you a pitch and feed you dinner. But no, let's create an experience that allows people to connect and bring together people, not just that are similar titles, but people that can actually be impacted and find value in connecting with the other people in that group.
Got it. So I got it. Who are your prospects or the clients? But do you have any eligibility criteria to onboard someone, and how you onboard? What's your onboarding process for the marketers, especially?
Right. So yeah, as far as the criteria, I mean, what we are doing is typically working with customers that are selling transformational solutions. So typically high value dollar deals so that it helps justify the expense. And obviously, we want to deliver 10x more ROI to them. But as far as once we decide that they're a good fit, and there can be many reasons, maybe it is that they want to connect with a particular group of people, or maybe it is they just want to drive awareness around their product with their ICP, their ideal customer at scale. right? Getting one to many. And then once they come on, it's really understanding what are you trying to accomplish? Maybe it's that brand awareness. Maybe it's connecting with prospects. Maybe it's just building your brand and your authority and attaching yourself and positioning yourself next to credible experts. Once we understand that, understanding those themes and where we want it to go, we take that information and then we work with guests and speakers to craft that podcast and really just set it up so that we have a conversation. It's not something that's necessarily directed by our sponsors, meaning they're not asking the questions, but we are taking what they want so that it can be an authentic conversation. It can be organic. It's not something that is contrived or like a corporate pitch.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, Shane, we do have an encouragement factor in our podcast for other entrepreneurs. And, many companies just burn out, shut down every day just because they are facing challenges every day. But obviously, challenges are part of the game, and you will have a new challenge every day. So, I'm sure you must have faced many challenges in your entrepreneurship journey. But can you share one challenge with us and let us know how you were able to cope up with that challenge?
Oh, that's a good question. There's so many challenges that are happening. It's really tough to just nail it down to one. I mean, you show up day to day and there's going to be something new. And the only thing I do know is that it will be hard, right? I expect it to be hard. And when you're going through it, it is that just know that you knew it was going to be hard and know that this is what hard feels like, but you just keep going. Everyone wants the reward, but doing that hard work at a volume that is really unreasonable. I mean, there is no like 9 to 5 type situation, right? We know what we have to do, but you sit in a meeting, you try things, some things don't work. I mean, we've tried just in general, multiple campaigns, and those campaigns, some of them work, some of them don't. But the key is once we realize that it does or doesn't, being able to move quickly to adjust and not just throw up your hands and say, well, I don't know. Because if you're in this position, you obviously position of starting a company or in a startup in an early stage, you are someone that typically has ambition, right? And it can be difficult when you're looking at defeat over and over and over again, but have a unreasonable amount of belief in yourself that if you continue to produce, that you will accomplish and achieve what you're trying to achieve.
That's beautiful. Awesome. So, Shane, in terms of your goals, how you define your short-term goals? Obviously, every company, this can vary for every company. But what's your process of defining the short-term goals, maybe of next 6 months?
For us, it really is identifying the revenue. I mean, obviously, revenue cures all. It starts there. And then from there, we start to back into the other goals and how we're going to achieve that, build that strategy to achieve that revenue. And then with each kind of bucket of that strategy, there's those different projects. And those are going to be the short-term goals that are going to get you to the long-term target. So whether that is marketing campaigns or whether that is events, whether it is trying new things, new offers, those are the things that back us that come from having that main target, which is the revenue that we want, because that enables everything to happen.
Makes sense. So if you don't mind, can you share your goals of next 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, one of it is to increase our brand awareness, and the other is to, hit 3 million in revenue.
That's great.
So those are the goals.
Awesome. So how you define your success of your business, and what are the parameters to measure it? Obviously, number one is the revenue or maybe the profit margin. Other than revenue and profits, what are the parameters of measuring the success?
I think there are a couple different things. I mean, outside of revenue, I try to stay really focused on that, right? What are our margins? Are we making money? Are these good deals? Are these good customers? But it really comes down to the people that you work with and the culture that you're building, and building a culture based on results and one that is about winning, however we need to do that. And when you're in a boat rowing with a team, sometimes the water's going to get choppy, and you've got to trust the people beside you that they're going to have your best interests. And that's not easy to do, but that is something that I think you do that through communication, through processes, through systemizing things. So you start to take the variables out of it and allow us to just execute.
Oh, got it. Awesome. So again, for the encouragement, can you let us know what's the biggest mistake you have made ever and what you learned out of it?
Oh my gosh. These are hard-hitting questions, Qasim. It's here's the biggest mistake. It's when you get into a new opportunity and things start to go well, a lot of opportunities will present themselves. And the biggest mistake is chasing all the opportunities. And as someone that is ambitious, that is curious, that wants to pursue those, it's really difficult to You can't say yes. You really have to, you can have what you want. You just can't have everything. And the more success you have, the more opportunities you'll have to chase those shiny objects. And those will just take away from your goal. So it's really just, about focusing on the one thing you need to focus on. So it's right now for me that is relevant, but there are times where it's like had opportunities to get involved in different ventures that you look at it on the outside and realize like, well, this will only take me a couple hours a week. This is easy to do. And then you start to get into it. And the next thing you know, it's consuming a lot of your time and it's taking away from your number one goal.
Makes sense. So Shane, I started my business in 2016, and at time I was wearing all the hats. Eventually, I started delegating my responsibilities to others, but it doesn't end there. Still, I needed to add some more stakeholders where, like, obviously one company cannot do everything. We were doing good, but still there were a lot of things that we were not good in it. So what we did is, in fact, I started adding other partners, separate companies, and we started some agreements, partnership agreements, and whatever was their strong point, I was giving them. Whatever work was lying in their basket, I was giving them, and whatever was in our competency, I was doing all that work. So this gave me a big push, a big boost where we starting really well. So I'm not sure if this is the true case study. I'm not sure, but correct, you can say, if this is the correct case study, because I'm not sure if this thing can be mapped on other businesses or not. Can you put some light on it, if this is a good model or not?
Yeah, I think it's the right model. And what I love about the opportunity we have today is there's so many options for that, whether it's partnering with other companies that do that well, hiring them as vendors, or utilizing fractional work or virtual assistants, right? And that what I think is important about any of those is you have to have a foundational understanding of what those jobs are. You don't have to be the best at it, but I believe as an entrepreneur, you have to have tried it. You have to have done it. You have to have got an understanding, like you've run up against your limit and you can't do more. So it's kind of that self-awareness, because I believe a lot of entrepreneurs just kill themselves trying to do everything. And it's as simple as, my focus is on go-to-market and sales, right? That's where I have my strengths. And I'm capable. I can do a lot of the other things. I can do social media. I can do, digital marketing and all these other things, but knowing that like I'm not great at any of those. So give that to someone else. And we don't have to go all in and spend a ton of money to do that initially. You can have a virtual assistant start to take some of that off your plate, and then you get a better understanding of what works and what doesn't. And you get fulfilled because you're focusing on what you really do well and not getting beaten down by trying to do all these things you kind of are okay at. Right. And that's where I think a lot of early stage founders get really, really defeated. And so when you talk about businesses shutting down, I think that's a lot of the reasons. If you have product market fit, you have something that people want and it still doesn't succeed, it's typically because of you and not able to delegate the work and bring in the people that can lift you up. And rising tides raises all ships. So that's what we want to be able to do, is identify where you have those strengths. And those other ones, build enough capability and skill in those to know you're not that good and that it needs to go to someone else.
Yeah, I learned it too late. Right.
It's hard. Right. You go gray a lot faster, when you're trying to do it all.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. So at the end, can you please give us the biggest piece of advice for other entrepreneurs who are already struggling in the market, or the ones who are dreaming to be their own boss?
Yeah, I think there is figure out what you want, right? And then just take action and do just a massive amount of effort to achieve that and just really focus on what that is. Yeah, I think that really is what it comes down to. Is the problem most people have is that we have a bunch of ideas and they're all vague. I like to say what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness, right? So what you want to do is gain clarity. And once you are truly clear on what you're trying to accomplish, like that other stuff falls away, and with clarity, you can take action. And that's what we want to enable, is just take action, because you're going to be in the midst of it and it's going to suck and things aren't going to be working. Just show up and do it. It doesn't care what you feel like, just show up and do it. But in order to do it effectively, I think you really need clarity around what you want and how you want to do that.
Well, that's a beautiful advice, Shane. Thank you so much. And please let our viewers know how they can reach you. You can share your website or social media, whatever you want to.
Yeah, relevant.com, relevnt.com. ShaneT.com. You can check out our podcast, Marketing Trends, Up Next in Commerce, IT Visionaries, and many others, wherever you get podcasts. And then Shane Jamison, ShaneJamison on LinkedIn is where I am most active. So,
Well, Shane, thank you so much for joining us today. I have learned a lot of things and it was pretty informative. So again, thank you for joining us.
Qasim, it was a pleasure. It was great talking with you.
Likewise. Thank you, Shane. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.